My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire. Ooh, we've already gotten to Ascension 19 here on the Ironclad. That, of course, means that the bosses will now also have more challenging movesets and abilities. Ascension 20 will be that on floor 3, Act 3, we will fight 2 bosses in a row. Ooh. Alright, let's get that random rare card. All the rest of these are kind of garbage. Ooh, limit break. I do like a good limit break. There's a fairly large amount of ways as this character to gain strength early. Just looking at my paths here, we've got this left side is pretty bereft of basically everything. Like, you can take an early elite and you can take a late elite and a rest before them. So it's really uninteresting. Here we've got these 3 question marks, elite, fight, elite. 2 more rests as well as a shot before we even choose whether or not we go for another elite after that. There's also starting out here and cutting in, getting 2 rests before the second elite. Yeah, I think we definitely start on this path and then decide thereafter exactly how we feel. If I get a spot weakness or an inflame, then my path is probably going to be more into the elites than away from. Hopefully we just get aggression, and we do. Lovely. No reason to even bother attacking that turn. Yep. When so many of our draws are already lethal. I would love to take Heavy Blade already because I have the limit break, and then I can start talking about using it because it's a high enough amount of strength that Heavy Blade becomes valuable. But I should really just take Shrug It Off. Safety first. We're actually going to have a lot of difficulty with the elite in this space if we can't pick up like a strength related or maybe just a very powerful aggressive card here. We don't get either. Alright, well, we're dodging that first elite then. Until I have a strength-related card in this deck, we are very much not in a great position to be taking enemies. Alright. Bash Strike. Or Triple Strike, that'll do it too. Clothesline is just nice to have, but Disarm... Ooh, Disarm is really good against the boss at the end of this floor. This sucks. It's really, really not good. Alright. 1 target down, but most of my defensive cards have already gone past. So I just get to take a bunch of damage here. Well, that was awful. Drop kick. Deck's not thin enough to really take advantage of that. I'll take a Twin Strike literally just for some damage. Something that helps me provide AoE. Ooh, Flame Barrier. That is huge. Sweet. So we can actually take out 1 target this turn. Thank you. Twin Strike is enough to kill this one, saving me a reasonable amount of HP this turn as well. Without any AoE in this deck, this is pretty much as well as this fight could have gone for us. I could have killed the frontliner there, but I actually defend myself for 1 less by killing it rather than just ignoring it for that turn. Pommel Strike. I'll take the Sword Boomerang for some instant damage when I have some strength in the deck. If we don't get any strength offered over the course of like this entire floor, that just means that actually our opener from Niao has nerfed us. It made us focus very singularly on a strategy that we could not fulfill. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if we ended up dying in this fight, actually. Yeah. I mean, we're not long for this world right now. Double strike in the next stand is lethal, at least. Okay. Pommel, just for some damage. Yeah, because that's still what's missing, is the damage. Well, we have to rest here. So we only had a choice between taking the elite there or taking the elite up there, so... Self-forming clay, whenever you lose HP, gain 3 block your next turn. Let's extend the duration of the vulnerability from Bash. I'll fight them, because if I take the Parasite, I end up just... I end up with such a worse deck that overall it might be negative. At least here I can murder that frontliner. Come on, come on, come on. Now we're within lethal shooting distance. In fact, we got it. Lovely. Odd Mushroom, when vulnerable, take 25% more damage rather than 50% more. Reaper. Yeah, we're dead in this combat. There's just no way that we will be able to kill the enemy fast enough to prevent ourselves from just dying. $25. Oh, with that extra turn of vulnerability, 3 strikes next turn does do it. Wow. I am amazed by that. Mummified Hand, whenever you play a power card, a random card in your hand costs 0 for the rest of the turn. Rupture as well as Reaper. Now, Rupture is actually a consideration here, because whenever you lose HP from a card, gain 1 strength, and then it's a power that will make another card in my hand cost 0. What is happening here? I can't right-click without everything going real nutty. What the hell is happening here? I cannot see anything that would be causing this. And now, anytime I try and right-click, it tabs out to the task manager. Whatever. I'll just have to keep the right-click click down. So if I upgrade Rupture, it actually becomes a mana accelerant, but also Brutality is a huge pickup for us at this point. We're going to want Disarm upgraded because of the boss fight that we've got at the very end of this floor. If we can survive that boss fight and somehow get Brutality immediately thereafter, we can, I don't know, we can get some stuff happening. So take you down to 38, you split it 36. I have to split them this turn. It's too much incoming damage and too little defense that I can conjure. Ugh. God, that was awful. Alright, 1 down. We may actually end up getting out of this battle. We're definitely going to die in the boss fight, though. We just don't have the aggression nor the defense to actually do anything there. Bloodletting, yeah, that's an extra point of strength for me occasionally from the Rupture. Look, I have to take that. I have to upgrade Limit Break as well. That 1 point of strength is going to have to form pretty much all of my damage eventually in this combat. If I don't keep attacking this enemy and they get their attack off next turn, we're just dead anyway. So, and yeah, we're just dead. So the best opportunity for me here is using Rupture to hit the bash and then playing bash, twin strike, sword boomerang. I have to play it before I do anything else because yeah, that would have only been, what, 14 damage? We still wouldn't have transformed the enemy. We needed bash to get hit by the mummified hand play there. That's really unfortunate. Could not find strength for the life of us there on the first floor. Oh well, at the very least we died to the boss, so it's all okay. Let's remove those 2 cards. So that didn't cost us all of our golds. That means we can go to an early shop and get an early card removal or an early card addition. Try and find something that helps us build our run. So I'm looking at this path with the 4 question marks before the first elite, but that doesn't necessarily give you an opportunity to pick up cards. And if that elite in particular happens to be the Sentinels, then our deck being relatively thin is actually really bad because it makes us vulnerable to deck trashing. I can get 3 question marks and then a rest, fight, rest, and then 2 elites later. It's guaranteed 2 elites later because no matter what path I take up here, you can see 2 elites later. I'll hover over the elites here. It's not good for us. There's one path where I can choose to take 2 early question marks. It's very far on the left. 2 early question marks, 2 rests, 2 shops. I'm going to start on this path, and then if I get some aggression, I'll decide to take on the elites. If I don't, then I'll take the safe path. Give myself some ability to just wiggle out of my commitments there. Hate this. Awful turn right there. More block would have been nice. Jawworm down. I get Whirlwind, Perfected Strike. Well, howdy. I'll take a Whirlwind. Now I want to actually go over here on the more hardcore path. Centennial Puzzle. The first time you lose HP each combat, draw 3 cards. Spot weakness. Really no discussion about what happens there. It's spot weakness. The upgrade happens on Whirlwind. Alright. We get to wake them up with a bunch of damage here. At least we drew the defend. Two turns to attack the enemy. And we got him. Sweet. Whew. Molten Egg, whenever you add an attack card to your deck, upgrade it, as well as True Grit for some defense. Yeah. Whirlwind to the opening hand is perfect here. Gets us our kill. Strength Potion, as well as take a Twin Strike, pre-upgraded already. In this position, I actually will rest. Or a Calcum if you end your turn without block, gain 6 block. Great for us. Come on. There's a spot weakness and Whirlwind in the same hand. Just get me back to that Whirlwind. Found it. Warpaint, upon pickup, upgrade 2 random skills, as well as, ooh, Battle Trance. Yes, please. And it gets upgraded. Hell yeah. Deck is very, very thin and has a lot of very powerful cards in it. This is pretty excellent for us. Clothesline pre-upgraded for a bunch of weakness. Love it. Didn't manage to get Clothesline out here, which is unfortunate. Still woke the enemy up reasonably, but... yeah. Weakening the enemy is incredibly important to us. It's Battle Trance first. Yeah, I'm looking for spot weakness. We found it. And this sets me up for easy lethal next turn. Tori, whenever you receive 5 or less unblocked attack damage, reduce it to 1? Do I take a shockwave? I do. I want the spot weakness upgraded, but I also recognize that we don't have much offense in this deck, and I need the... sorry, much defense in this deck, and I need the True Grit upgraded so that I can actually function. Sweet. Okay, does the enemy decide not to attack next turn? No, they've doubled down. That's okay. Whirlwind's lethal. Ooh. No, I shouldn't diversify into Searing Blow at this point. We have the draw power of the Battle Trance as well as the Whirlwind. We could take the Flex here. It's not upgraded though. Makes it a little bit more difficult. Still take it. The deck needs to be relatively thin so that we can use Flex and Whirlwind reliably with one another. With True Grit burning out strikes, we should be okay. As well as Clothesline keeping the enemy weak. Worst case scenario, we have to use the Dex Potion in this combat. Actually, I think we might use both of the potions. It's really important the enemy is on the ground here. Yep, good thing I used that potion. Whew. Come on, spot weakness again? No. There's actually nothing I want to True Grit out of this hand. So I'm going to Shockwave instead. I get the 6 block from Orichalcum. I get the extra draw this turn as well from the Centennial Puzzle. So I'm doing no damage at all right now, but I've got 10 strength, and that counts for something. Let's keep the enemy weak as a priority. Okay, I'm very glad that I upgraded a card before this fight. I thought it was actually like a little bit of a dodgy decision, possibly, but no, it's all working out. There we go. Reaper and Immolate, both pre-upgraded. Has to be Reaper. Sorry, it's so much HP for us. Also, Immolate is already, like, the Whirlwind is already kind of performing the task that Immolate performs for us. No longer being able to rest at rest sites is actually not that bad because of the Reaper right now. Ectoplasm is garbage for us. Velvet Choker can be garbage. At the moment, it's fine, but we'll take the Coffee Dripper because resting is probably the least important thing out of those three in this specific circumstance for this specific character in this specific build. Let me just layer on those qualifications. Getting a Necronomicon this floor would be incredible. So I'm going to take this path with 3 question marks early, an early shop, an early rest. First elite, then we cut in here, get another elite, another rest, 2 more question marks before we end. Unfortunate. Usually the enemy's attacking on the first turn, but in Ascension 17, they decide not to attack on that turn anymore. Just trying to set myself up to have a productive Reaper. Or we could just kill. Save ourselves a bunch of HP that way. Sure, another Twin Strike. Way to get out a reasonable amount of damage. Ooh, another Twin Strike even there. Neat. Sling of Courage. Startle each elite combat with 2 strength. Also the Master of Strategy. Also Lantern. Also Runic Dodecahedron. All of these are really appealing. Runic Dodecahedron probably least of which, just because it's difficult to maintain full health for longer than like a single turn for us. Starting each combat with additional energy is really powerful, but each elite combat starting with 2 extra strength, I mean, that helps us hunt elites. Pick up a bunch of relics. I definitely think I want the Twin Strike and probably the Flex as well at this point. It's okay. I'll just go for those 2. 3 Apparition. This deck uses its max HP and... No. We don't want the Apparition in this deck because being able to heal back up to a full max HP and having a like impactful Reaper is incredibly important to us, specifically for longer fights. Removing a card is actually more important here because we don't play these strikes if we can avoid it ever. We just play the Whirlwinds. Ow. Those giant draw hands are huge. Oh my god. It's another Twin Strike. We have 4 Twin Strikes already in this deck. We need to ease up on the Twin Strikes. Pretty good opening turn. Backliner decides not to attack. Exactly what I wanted. I'm actually just going to go for lethal here. So rather than bash them to get vulnerability for another turn hereafter, I'm just setting up for instant target removal. Preserved Insect. Enemy and elite combats have 25% less HP. Okay, now we probably want to just target elites. Oh, yes. I will 100% take this combat and the combat immediately thereafter. Of course I will. Because this counts as an elite combat. So I get all those benefits. I'm actually just going to throw this opening hand. It's kind of garbage. Okay. Whirlwind right now is lethal on both of them. Just pick up my relics, Birdface Urn, whenever you play a power card, heal for 2 HP, as well as Kunai, whenever you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dex. Another spot weakness. Gremlin Horn, whenever an enemy dies, gain an energy and draw a card. Yep, we're going to be going up to fight 2 more elites this floor. Okay. I was deciding whether I block and then use the block potion. Two spot weakness and a Reaper left in the deck. The incoming damage this turn is actually minimal because of Tori, so... yeah, I'm way better off using the Reaper there than exiting the fight. The Boot. Whenever you deal 4 or less unblocked attack damage, increase it to 5, as well as another Twin Strike. Too much now. Juicy Bracelet. Normal enemy encounters are no longer encountered in question mark rooms, so we don't end up with the Necronomicon. Unfortunate, but to be expected, really. Got to set up the kill on the frontliner first here. That'll do. Another whirlwind, obviously incredible. So this whirlwind will give me extra energy, but then kind of waste all but one. That gets me extra draw this turn. That's pretty good. The only problem being that spot weaknesses aren't really going to do anything here. Bottled Lightning upon pickup chooses skill. Started combo with that in your opening hand. Let's probably put the Battle Trance in there. Get a much larger opening hand. Ah, unplayable status cards can now be played whenever you play a status card exhausted. But there's also Ice Cream. Energy is now conserved between turns, and that is huge. This is rough. I want most of them. Sword Boomerang I also really want here. Some really good zero single target damage for us. Ice Cream allows for such nutty stuff, especially with 2 already X-cost cards in my deck. It's really difficult to ignore. Great. Like, this turn, it doesn't matter if I use spot weakness. Like, it doesn't matter if I damage the enemy a bunch. Does it? Should I be damaging the enemy here? Yes, but for only one reason. Kunai. I want to start triggering that. And again. Oh, spot weakness, really? Gonna constantly do me dirty like this? Turn up on the wrong turn? Okay, enemy's getting more buff. No great reason to waste a bunch of energy this turn. Enemy purges entirely. 66 incoming damage. Alright. That looks a lot more usable. 29 incoming damage. Good lord. So now 16 by 6 is 60 plus 36 is 93. It's not lethal here. And I probably shouldn't let off a giant whirlwind until the enemy is vulnerable at this rate. Okay. There's that giant Wrath coming in again. So, Bash, you want to come up at any point? Flex would have been great. Battle Trance would have been great. We're dead here. I'm so frustrated by that. That run was excellent. It was doing so well. Like, a single limit break, and that probably would have been both of the bosses down next floor. Like, that would have been... Sorry, both bosses. That would have probably won Ascension 20 at that rate. Not managing to get the vulnerability until literally the bottom of the new shuffle was awful. Absolutely awful for us. What could I have done? So more sources of vulnerability in the deck? I don't think more sources of vulnerability in the deck would have been a good idea, just because it slows us down so much to play them. Having some more defense in the deck obviously would have been nice, but that's always kind of nice. I could have taken a True Grit in one of those last stores. I think the first store that floor, I could have taken another True Grit. I opted not to. That could have made all the difference. Ugh. Just not getting that bash at the very end would have made absolutely all of the difference. Really unfortunate. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.